I'm Jennifer Foster, one of the premier investor coaches of South Florida with SmartPlan Investing. We have offices in Jupiter, Florida and Atlanta, Georgia. And today it is my goal to help you to eliminate confusion around budgeting, to gain some critical insights so that you can be successful at your budget once and for all. Today we're going to get down to business. We're going to take your written budget that you've created and I'm going to help you implement this very important tool so that you can actually finally once and for all have success. Because if you're like me, you've tried all kinds of budgeting systems. There's various apps and envelopes and paperclip systems. And if you're like me, they've just all have failed. And if you're tired of failing at this budgeting and sticking to it, I have the tool for you. Before we get into what this very important tool is, there's one very important key ingredient. In order to be successful at any budgeting or using a tool, I believe it's vitally important that you have discovered what your true purpose for your money is. I believe that knowing what your true purpose is will guide all your spending, saving, giving, and investing decisions. So if you have never done the Discovering Your True Purpose for Money exercise, I encourage you to reach out to me and I will help you get access to that. I haven't always been very good at handling money. In fact, I was a single mom by my 21st birthday and I made a whopping $8 an hour. So if you can just imagine trying to provide a home, food, transportation, all of that on $8 an hour. So if anyone can identify with the struggles of how do I get from one paycheck to the next, how do I actually set up a budget that I can stick to, I've learned this through trial and error, and it took me years to finally figure it out. So there were a couple things that were very instrumental in me being able to finally break this, curse of I create a budget, and I balance my checkbook, but how could I plan for my future? I was not able to really, in my mind, see where I would be in the future. So, maybe this week, could I go out to eat? Well, what if I went out to eat and now I can't pay a bill next week? I struggled so much with that, and maybe that's what you struggle with too. I believe that every person has a different struggle when it comes to budgeting and income and expenses. So I'm just going to tell you my journey. So that was my journey. I just really had a hard time. I could create this budget, but I didn't know, okay, from one week to the next, could I buy this? Could I go out to eat? And it just was very difficult to the point that I just forget all about the budget and just bought what I wanted when I wanted, spend money when I wanted to spend it. And then unfortunately, I wouldn't have the money to pay the bills, and it was just caused a lot of stress and anxiety. Approximately 17 years ago, I started working for a tax and accounting firm. And I would balance the books, I would pay their bills, I would send out bills. And so I was in the financial world, but yet my own finances were just strangled. I was drowning. I couldn't breathe. I was in debt to my eyeballs. I couldn't keep my finances straight. I was always overspending and always stressed out. My employer for the tax and accounting firm also was an investment advisor, as well as his son. And they would go to training every quarter. And when they went to this one specific training, I got to go along. It was really amazing. And our coach led us through the exercise, Discovering Your True Purpose for Money. Now, I had seen my employer do this exercise once or twice before, and I never really participated in actually doing the exercises. But this time, I actually participated, and it changed everything for me. So that day, I had discovered that my true purpose for my money was love. And I created commitments out of this exercise that I actually was able to live into, which has me standing before you today as an investment advisor myself. And all that became possible through this very important exercise. In addition to Discovering Your True Purpose for Money, I read this book that was handed out as well. The book is called Rich Chick, sounds familiar, by Michelle Matson. And I read this book, and it, in conjunction with discovering my true purpose, really changed everything financially for me. There are some really amazing stories in here where you can identify with women at various stages in their life and their financial situations. And it really serves as, I would say, almost like a warning, because most women don't really think about their finances in the sense that they need to take charge of them because of whatever stage they are in life, whether they're going to wait for some guy to handle it for them when they get married one day, or whether they're married and their husband is taking care of it. But unfortunately, if you read this book, you'll see that it is so crucially important that us women take control of our financial futures and be a part of it. So I really encourage you, if you haven't already read the book Rich Chick, you can get a Kindle version on Amazon. You can also get them shipped to you as well, and it doesn't cost that much. So I really encourage you to pick up this book. This will help you so much. So I discovered my true purpose and I read this book. So those were two very important components to implementing the tool that I'm going to share with you. I returned from that training having discovered my true purpose and having read the book Rich Chick. And what I decided is that if I can do accounting for all these clients, I could do accounting for myself as well. And I had this light bulb moment. Not only could I enter like a checkbook and see where I've been, but I could put in the expected income and expenses for my future to see where I'm going. And the great thing about it is it was editable. So at any point in time, I could edit. If I added in an expense, if I went to the ATM or anything like that, or I plugged in a number. So in accounting terms, plugging in is if you don't know the exact number, like say a credit card, you know about what you spend, but it will vary a little bit. I could plug in a number, but it would tell me for, keep a running balance, so I would know from week to week, month to month, where would I fall short? Did I need to change pay dates or anything like that? What would I need to do? Increase my income or reduce my expenses? What would I need to do to make sure that I never bounced a check again and that I finally had financial freedom and wasn't stressed about my budget? So I realize that you probably don't work for an accountant and have access to their software, and that's okay, because I will share with you what I use and it's available to you as well. First, I want to be very clear that I am not being paid to share this information and that I assume no responsibility for a third-party software. I personally use Quicken Deluxe, and they have a starter edition or deluxe version. If you're interested, you can go to quicken.com, make sure you're on their site, and you can read it and make the decision for yourself whether this is the right solution for you. I really love Quicken for this solution. I love that I can input all my expected income and expenses for the year. I love that I can see paycheck to paycheck what my balances are. I can see and plan for, if I want to do some extra spending or if I need to rein in my spending, when I'm able to up my investments or up my savings. It's just been incredibly helpful. And once I had started doing that, that's when I was able to then start saving and investing. And I had never been able to save and invest before that. So if you're struggling with savings and investing, I believe that this is a solution that could finally help you, really achieve that goal. Quicken is really pretty simple to set up and start using very quickly. Now, Quicken has an amazing customer support team, so if you ever have any questions, you can certainly reach out to them, and they will help you when it comes to how to do certain things with their software. But what I offer is one-on-one coaching, and I will help you a little bit with some of their software stuff, but it really is more pertained to the coaching that I provide. And so there's a lot of tips that we probably should talk about before you get started so that I can save you a lot of time and frustration. So I do offer this one-on-one coaching, so feel free to reach out to me and we can get that set up. With your purpose and this new tool, I have no doubt that you can create your Rich Chick budget and one that you'll be able to stick to. If you haven't already subscribed to my YouTube channel, I encourage you to do so now. Don't forget to click the bell so that you'll get notifications, because I'll have other videos around budgeting and additional tips that you won't want to miss.